Happy Wednesday, everybody. All 10 of you. Anybody need a guitar pick? So I'm going to go ahead and just get started on this. We'll talk a little bit more about the guitar as my hopefully some folks show up. Just doing a little bit of cleanup on the finger on the frets here. Using some 1500 grit just to knock any oxidations. Stored in a farmhouse or a barn or something. It's a mess. We'll look at it. Hey, Preston. Oh, who else? Oh, Rogue, what's happening? How's everybody? So, I appreciate y'all showing up today. Here I am back at work. I have kind of a short day today, actually, which will be nice. So this part of the process is pretty boring. We've all watched somebody polish frets on a guitar a million times, right? This is how to do it. But I've got to get this, I want to get this out of the way first, just so I can kind of make a preemptive strike on this poor old guitar. I don't know how, no markings on it, no numbers. Interesting. A couple of these frets have some really interesting markings on them. I don't think I can really get you guys exposed to what's going on here just due to camera quality. I really need to buy an iPhone. Well, did I say that? Powerful tools, man. So let's just take a flyby here, and you can kind of see what I'm up against with the frets. I have sanded up to that one, and we'll see. Maybe I can get some light on this to show, the difference between ones that I've sanded and then I haven't sanded. I don't know how well that's going to show up on the camera, but you can see the dullness. And this guitar is going to go to a young man who wants to learn to play, and I want him to keep playing rather than stop playing. So we'll do everything we can to make this thing as close to one of my guitars as we can make it. Mine are all generally pretty darn perfect. I don't have the Shoekeeper's Children guitars. I still maintain very good care and maintenance of mine. I have a lot of tools at home that I use if I run into something while I'm recording or jamming or whatever. I hope everybody is having a really great Wednesday. I'll try and be as quick as I can about this with this process, and we can get on to the real serious business of this guitar. I did look this guitar over and have done a couple of preemptive strikes here in a moment. Wow. One more. All right, so knocked all the DNA and oxidation off the frets. So we have a Keith Urban signature acoustic guitar, and it truly does have his signature on it right there. I put these in the same family as the Esteban guitars. Um, these are, people think they're really amazing instruments, and they do look really cool. Um, but the quality is really not very high. It's a plywood top on this one, so it's a picture of a piece of maple, and you can kind of see the flame in it, I guess, a little bit maybe. There we go. Yeah, so this thing had extremely tall string action, and so we're gonna do something about that obvious solve, and I'm gonna start with that. Actually, I'm gonna clean this thing first. What's happening there, Stu? Oh, all right. I'm just using good old-fashioned Dunlop 65 polish. It's worked for me for decades now, and I love it. So we're gonna clean this bad boy, bad girl, whatever you want to call it. This thing is really dirty. Already looking so much nicer. And I just use shop towels that you can buy at the Dollar Tree or the dollar store. Get 2 of them for $1. Actually, it's $1.25 now. False advertising. Everything costs $1.25 at the dollar store. Amazing how they can do that. I get these usually made in China, I'm sure. Imported by Canada. Oh wait, there's a made in China, yeah, but it's got Canada and U.S. printed all over it too. There they are, cheap microfiber rags. All right, so check out the shoulders of this. Yes, that's dust on this thing. So it's obviously been hanging in an environment where there's a lot of dust and again, I'm guessing probably there's a fireplace, I would guess, in the home, and so the thing gets roughhoused a little bit, but not, it's definitely not broken. And I was asked to give it a good spring cleaning and make it look a little nicer, so I'm going to take the time to do that now so I don't have to touch a bunch of dirty stuff and leftover dinner on this thing. It really does look like this guy or whoever they ate their dinner off of the top of this guitar. Pretty gnarly. But already just looking, just by taking a little bit of polish to it, bringing the shine back to the guitar. The young kid that's going to play this thing might be a little bit more attracted to it if it's got some bling to it, And my understanding is that he's a huge Keith Urban fan. So we'll make sure this kiddo keeps playing guitar. This part of this video is going to be pretty non-exciting. Although if you want to learn how to clean a guitar and the way I do it, just keep watching. It's best to do this sort of stuff like at your kitchen table, where you can kind of get the guitar set at a level where you're sitting in a chair or whatever, and you can really work on it and see everything really well. And having a little bit of light. I've got a light right here that is illuminating the work that I'm doing, so I can really see if there's a spot on it that I really need to dig into to get some guck removed. Sometimes that stuff can be invisible. Lots of scratches on the finish on this one, but we're not gonna polish this down to remove any of the scratches. But just getting all the dirt and grime off of this thing, it's looking really nice now. It's black. It'll get fingerprints. We all know that. Yep. Check the end pin buttons here. You know, when you're doing this sort of stuff, you can really give those a grab and make sure they're safe. You don't want the guitar falling off some guitar player after you've worked on it, right? So, kind of gone over the top and the sides now. Just a preliminary cleanup on this. And we'll take care of the back now. And we'll do the back of the neck at the same time. Look at the back of this thing. It's pretty cool. Got some nice color, different types of woods and painted parts and natural looking parts. So kind of a neat design. I'm sure Keith Urban probably dictated to these guys exactly what he wanted this guitar to look like, right? I don't have a signature guitar. Not yet. I'm waiting for that call from Gibson. Yeah. Now we're talking. That's a scratch I'm not going to try and remove. And then usually the residual amount of polish that I have on my cloth will do the neck and headstock and all that. There's a little bit of stuff left on it. I'm kind of getting far away. Here we go. Oh, that looks so much nicer. I mean, not that anybody looks at the back of the headstock, but... And another thing, this one has little buttons left on it. Or not buttons, but stickers on the machine heads. These white stickers. Well,
where'd my guys go?
They walked that way. I just trimmed my fingernails last night, so I might have cut them a little bit short. You're not going to buy that, Stu? This is why I like to tell people to get this stuff off of the guitar the moment you buy one, because they usually at that point come off really easy, but you leave these stickers on here. They put these protective scratch coatings over like pick guards, and these usually just when the guitar is brand new, but I'm assuming these have been on here for a long time, so they kind of melt into the metal and make this process not so easy.
Yeah, I understand.
But we'll get rid of it. This takes a little patience and perseverance and a good thumbnail. I do keep my thumbnails a little bit long, not for playing guitar, but for doing this exact thing when I'm working on guitars. A lot of times you have to scrape at something, and your fingernail is one of the best things to use versus a screwdriver or something else that could scratch a finish up on a guitar, obviously. And we'll get rid of all this. I did talk to the owner about this part of the job, and he was fine with me getting rid of all that stuff. So now I'm going to use a little bit more of my polish here, the Dunlop 65, and see if I can get the remainder of the sticky stuff off of the backs of these machine heads. Boy. I know these little details. Oh yeah, there we go. So there we go. So it just takes a little bit of digging. This one's a little bit loose. We'll tighten that up. You know, doing this kind of work, which I absolutely love, of course, you end up doing a lot of this. A lot of this. A lot of cleaning. It's a big part of this. You know, it's really fun to get done with it because you know what it looked like before. You put a little bit of time into it, and all of a sudden, now those machine heads look brand spanking new. Wipe off the buttons. And of course, I'll touch them and they'll get fingerprints on them again. Yep. That screw was just a little bit loose on that. There we go. Those feel pretty good. Now we'll flip her over. And we'll check the nuts on this side of it. This is something you should do every time you change strings on an instrument. Just check these. Get them snug. You don't have to, definitely don't reef down on these. You'll crack the finish. Yeah, these are all just a little bit loose. So I'm hoping, yeah, okay, cool. Now I need to go over the top of this headstock, polish this up a bit. I hope you can see how really gotten all the guck off of it. Just looks great. Practically brand new. Yeah, this thing is not scratched up real bad, but it's got some definite where it's bumped up against something here and there. There we go. Now we're talking. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. Cool headstock. I like the design on the headstock. Neat shape here. Okay, so let's dig into the real playability problems with this instrument. Get you back over here. And what we've got here is obviously an acoustic guitar, and when it was brought in, the string action was really high. At the 12th fret, it was measuring 9/64, which is twice the height that it should be. And we got plenty of room here on the saddle, which we will remove. And I'll show you the problem with the existing saddle. And that is all of the strings. It's a plastic saddle, and they obviously used a very soft plastic, and all of the strings into the saddle where they make contact, so the string height is all over the. So I did prepare a little bit when I came into work today, and I made a new bone saddle. So we'll put a piece of bone in here, and what's interesting is that these saddles are the identical size. So this one fit into the slot absolutely perfectly, only this one's plastic and this one's bone, so obviously it's got a much better material. The other thing I was able to do was measure how tall this one was, then measure the distance of how far I needed to drop the string action here at the 12th fret, and before I even put this here, I was able to sand it down so that it's actually shorter than the original one by about that much. You can see a little bit of the original one sticking out over the top, and I went kind of conservative with that. I may have to take some more off this saddle, but we'll see. So before, right in there just like it was made for it. So before I do much else, also noticing up here on the fingerboard, this one, that's we've got a little bit of, there's something on this fingerboard right here. There's a little bit of something. Where'd my favorite razor blade go? Looks like maybe a piece of tape or something. Yeah. Trying to be real careful not to scratch the guitar. Yeah, there's a little piece of tape. Somebody probably used it to mark a fret. Yeah, cool. All right, so this thing's all looking good. I don't see anything else on the fingerboard that looks too important to address, so we'll go ahead and get out the old linseed oil on it. And this is probably going to really explode because the wood is extremely dry on this fingerboard. So we're going to bring that back to life. Use a paper towel. I try to be as conservative as I can in using paper towels. But I like to use paper towels in putting the linseed oil on. It kind of soaks up the extra stuff. Doesn't take a ton. That's way too much. And as Vice Grip Garage would say, perfect. Y'all check out the new Vice Grip Garage video today. Dude. He's a family man. His family's involved. It's so cool. There it goes. Now we're talking. Now it's looking like a fingerboard, right? And now that I've gotten the fingerboard oiled nicely, I've got some remaining linseed oil on my rag. So we'll just go down here to the bridge. I put that saddle in there a little too early. And we'll put some oil on the bridge. Bring this to life. Look at that. Just looks glorious now. Have a lot of weird shapes in this these corners and such. It's kind of hard to get the rag down in there. You got to be persistent. Get 100% coverage. There we go. Got a little spot of paper towel in there. We don't want to leave that. All right. We'll take a dry rag, wipe off the extra oil on the finish. This stuff goes everywhere. It's like wires. They go anywhere you don't want them to go. All right. Oh, and there was one other thing, that these bridge pins in these holes, they're very, very tight. And I want to try and open those holes up a little bit. So we will. Where are you? There you are. We'll open them up. Yep. having done that, that pin fits a whole lot more comfortably in that. Also, we'll need to take care of this. For the rest of these, they must have ran out of the right size drill bit the day they built this guitar. So they just used a smaller one. Yeah, there were a couple of these that getting them out of here was a real nightmare. So doing this will help that a lot. All right, and give the neck one more good wipe down. It looks like a laminated neck, so a lot of the oil's popping back up out of there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the new saddle in here. Fits really nicely, and we'll see what happens. I'm not worried about doing any setup work on the neck relief or anything at this point. I can do all of that after I have strings on it. So really, this guitar doesn't need a whole lot more at this point. Just a few minor adjustments, and should be pretty darn close. The only problem I might run into is if I cut this saddle too short. Okay, now here's another thing that I should have done before I just did that, but whoop, there we go. These do have a bit of an angle on them, but we're gonna make those a little steeper. Something I have to do on a lot of acoustic guitars, but that's to create an angle here so that the string doesn't hang up on the end. Still feels like it's grabbing, but it's not. So, time to put strings on this bad boy. Woo! Getting a little rough. The holes in these machine heads are really pretty small. There we go. You ever been putting strings on an acoustic guitar and have the end pin fly out of there? That's always fun. And I'm looking at, having that one string on here, and the string action at the 12th fret is looking really nice right now. I might have gotten really lucky. Either lucky or good. We shall see. Whew, that one's hard to turn. How close am I? I think I'm a little bit flat, but maybe not. Again, we just put a little angle on these end pins, and when you put the string in there, it goes right where it's supposed to go. Feels a little bit better. That's much better. Restringing a guitar. Didn't we just do this the other day? When the saints are marching in, G and B, major third. This is not my fastest restring job I've ever done. It's not too slow, hopefully. I can tell right now that the string action is really still really high. So let's check the neck relief first. These strings on her. Here we go. Boy, we got a ½ inch of string height there. The neck relief is way, way, way out of whack. So we will turn the truss rod to get that squared away. It needed a lot of movement on that. still. String action is just ultra high. So my guess right now is that the neck angle is very wrong on this guitar. So I'm gonna use my eyeball, which I do not recommend. Yep. Yep, the neck angle is totally wrong on this. The nut is way above the top of the guitar here, so the neck is going like that instead of that. I have a very small amount of room to drop the string action. It's 8/64 of an inch right now, low E, and it's 6/64 at the treble E. And I definitely have enough room. So I need to go 6/64 and 2/64. I have all of that, but I'm gonna have none of the left. But I can get the string action down at least to try. And 4/64. I don't have that much on this side, so need to do a little bit more work on the saddle to get the string action at least close. We're not going to rebuild this whole thing or pull the neck off of it or anything. It's not a bolt-on neck like a Taylor. If this was a Taylor, I could put a shim in the neck and fix the problem, or another with a bolt-on neck. There aren't too many of them. I think Martin might make a couple of bolt-on necks. Thanks for the thumbs up, you guys. I appreciate it. Preston, what do you got on tap for Wednesday? What are we going to be hearing tonight, brother? Okay. Sharpie. So what I'm going to do here is remove the right amount of material off of this saddle on the saddle here. All right, now I need to remove 6/64, so we'll turn it on and we'll go to fractions of an inch, zero it, and then we'll open her up to 3/64, 11 1/28, 3/32 is 6/64. That's a lot of material to take off of a saddle. And what I can do now is scratch it. Yeah, and of course it went right in the light spot. Let me mark this again. There we go. Now maybe I can see it. There it is. Okay. And now I need to go down to nothing at this end. So I'm going to have to sand this off at a bit of an angle from here to here. And what I'll do for doing that, is
I've run into that before, and that's a sad thing. Yeah, that's, it's gonna be pretty, you put everything up, hanging thing on the darn, and you start
So now I've got that angle drawn on there, that line on that saddle, and at this point I need to run out to the belt sander. Oh hell, I can bring you with me, I think. Take a walk through the shop. Hope everybody's doing well. Haven't seen anybody commenting at all today, seems like. There we go. Oh hey, I think I was missing the live chat. Running out to the, it's been 40 minutes, holy smokes. All right. I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi will stay connected. All right. Welcome to the beautiful city of LeGrand. One of the greatest fire escapes in the world, right there. So, I'm walking out to the old belt sander. I think I can see, where can I set this camera up in a way? Well, we'll just have to get creative here. Welcome to my, cool. So now we've got that taken care of. Gotta be careful about Sheryl Crow. She can't be in. Now we're gonna put this saddle back in here. Let's see what we end up with. See if we can turn this Keith Urban SIG into a Martin D28. Oh boy, that looks so much nicer. Yeah, we're about 6/64ths and 4/64ths on the, or 5/64ths on the treble, but we brought the string action down immensely on this guitar. So this is really looking good. I need some coffee. Let's go ahead and stretch them a bit. Well, there she is. Let's make sure we're in tune. I was pretty close. I'm usually a half step off. That's usually. watching somebody stretch strings. We're getting close here. We're getting close. We will get there. I apologize for losing you all for a moment. I had walked out to the shop, and the Wi-Fi connection here is not so hot. All right. Interesting. Well, again, because of that neck angle, I am not going to be able to. Yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah. Yeah, conspiracy. Yeah, that was fun. So at this point, I realize that the neck angle is incorrect on this guitar to really make it totally right. Again, the neck is going up like that instead of back like that, and there's no fixing that without pulling the neck off of this guitar, which I would not do. on this particular instrument. So what I'm going to do is adjust this truss rod to try and tilt the neck back a little bit further. Might be able to resolve a bit of the high string action by doing this, and I am going to turn this truss rod a lot to the point that it about has back bow on it. And just doing that, now we're getting real.
I was thinking you're talking to me, Marshall.
Now we're getting real. As long as I don't have see what this neck's doing now. After turning that truss rod, we'll put our leveling bar on here and see what's happening. We still have a little bit of relief after turning it all that, but it's pretty flat. But the string action again now is becoming a lot more realistic. Again, guys, I can't forbidden song. String stretcher, yeah, dude. I don't use a string stretcher tool right here. That's them. Hello.
I don't know if you can help us
I bet I can.
or direct us to the right place. Because I'm new in the area, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the cord of the laptop?
Yeah, because it's not wanting to charge for in here.
Are you?
So, like,
The power supply won't plug into this.
Somehow we went to Celfix and they don't have the soldering or whatever to.
yeah, they're saying something about the motherboard
It's-
disconnected.
It's connected. Like sometimes when you pull out the charge cord, it kind of disconnects inside it. Stays, so there's something like
On-
detached from the motherboard on the charger inside.
On this.
Yeah, inside. Do you know?
Do you have the cable and you plug it into a power supply or whatever? Does it charge it?
Sometimes.
If it goes to a certain point, it charges to a certain point, and it says, okay, 36%. You pull it out, drops it down to like 22 or 21. So it's not holding a charge. So somehow, maybe when you're charging it and you drop it with it still plugged in, that it can cause that problem.
Well, dropping these is a really, really bad idea. I would highly recommend never doing that. Okay. I know. That goes without saying.
So we
Okay,
didn't
let
know.
me,
We didn't know if we were in the right place. I'm still new in the area. I'm still trying to get to know where everything's at. So
let me, what I can do is plug it into my computer sitting right here and we'll test it and see what it's showing. Are you plugging this into a laptop or a tower or something at home, or just?
I'm plugging it into
I have a recliner that has the.
Hang on.
with like a cord, just. A
Oh,
cord
okay, so
into
to a power supply.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to get this thing to charge up ultimately.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Well, let's see what this tells us, because I can hook it up to my laptop and it might give us more information on what's going on here. Right on, and I have the right cable, I believe. This is lightning. Yep, plugs right in there. So let's see what this tells us when I plug it into my laptop. I might need you to activate the device. Does it have like a password or a
No.
No?
Just swipe up
Okay,
to open it.
cool. Are you a guitar player?
I'm wanting to.
Are you? We need to fix that. Turn you into a rock star, young man.
His grandma, my mom, had a guitar that we got from my brother.
Oh,
and he
cool.
used to
He's probably gonna give it to me.
Okay. Okay, so I plugged the power supply in and it looks like it fired up. This file, let's just deny that. We don't need to see all that. And don't let me unplug this.
Also, what it costs for some slow battery charging is if you abruptly pull the cord out of the device. Would that cost some of that too?
Well, if this thing, this is the USB port on this, it's definitely connected to a circuit board inside this, and they're tiny and they are fragile. And you know, I'm plugging this in and it registers that I've plugged it in, and it's showing 19% charge at this point, but it does not show that it's charging this device.
Yeah, that's what we've noticed too. That the
Because-
guy that was over there with the other guy over there, they said something might have been loosed from the motherboard or the circuit board, and that's why you might not be able to get the charge.
The symptom what I'm witnessing on this is that connection in here may have been. Have you dropped it where this thing hit the ground, or
Yeah.
it's been?
Yeah.
Do you guys do any of that kind of
I
stuff here?
can't.
Do you know anybody here in LeGrand? I've only been here not even 2 years.
Yeah,
so.
no. We're the.
Are you the only
To my
electronic?
knowledge, I am the only. Myself and the gentleman out there are the two best, and we're two of the best on the West Coast. I would venture to guess. However, type of equipment, I'm
You'd
not
have to get up
qualified.
You're not qualified to do
No.
it. You even
To
ha-
take this apart and actually work on it, I'm not. It's not something I'm capable of doing.
or feel comfortable in doing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take this apart for you. This would be something that would need to go to, you know, a business. I mean, an Apple repair shop or
Yeah, we
something
got it
like
from
that.
Verizon. It's
Verizon.
the Android. So
Yeah,
If
and
it's
I'm
Verizon wouldn't do it, or the Cellfix wouldn't do it.
Cellfix.
yeah.
They recommended you guys. So
Yeah, God, you guys. I don't know. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. I've had it plugged in for a little bit, and I'm keeping an eye on what the charge.
does it sit?
It
does
did just flash just for a moment.
Yeah,
So
that's what it does every once in a while. This seems like it is charging, but then all of a sudden you kind of turn away, and then it's kind of almost feels like
I
it's
wanna-
disconnecting it.
I want to see this number go up to 20%. And has it just slowly but surely been getting lower and lower and lower, or does it ever go up above? Right now, it's showing 19%.
Well, like a couple days ago, we had it like charged for like a day straight,
Uh-huh.
and it finally got to 100.
Okay. It did. So it is taking a charge. Let me see. Hang on. Okay. I wonder. Power lines are damaged. Gonna have to get a repair. Yeah, I've got a lot of people right now that are watching this on YouTube, in fact, and I'm getting some advice from other folks that know a lot about this. And everybody is also saying it sounds like the charging lines have cracked in there, and they're telling you the same thing.
Especially when it's not like $100 or $1,000 devices, then some people
That's-
might want to go in and do that. But when it's not a whole expensive one,
All right. And that would be my next question that I would pose to you, because the amount that it might cost you to have this repaired versus buying a new one.
We already have a new one.
I
but
got 'em
the
at-
stuff isn't connecting to it.
it's
Like,
not
On the new one?
yeah, it's not connecting onto transferring his data over to the other one is not transferring over. He's having
From
to
this.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the damage has been done on inside this USB
Damage is
cable.
done and it's
The
unfixable.
only-
you know, like a big business that would be able to.
I could do some research and see if I can find somebody that'll do it. I'm gonna plug this directly into here, and it lights up red. So
Yeah, because the battery saver's on.
that's the battery saver, and this thing doesn't really show that it's charging. Okay, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
if
battery.
it's slow charging, then it'll
Mr.
just
Marshall. Hey, I love you, man. All right.
Now I know where to bring
Yeah,
my
if it's
Diet
slow-
Pepsi for you.
Oh,
If it slow charges, if it shows
so
there's a red line through and it's white, then it's slow charging. So
yeah, I'm wondering if we can. It's kind of interesting that it doesn't show. It doesn't show like the whether or not it's charging really. So okay, so having this plugged in now, it goes to this dim mode, and I'm not sure.
yeah, dimming it will probably help.
'Cause
Yeah.
you got it on bright all the way to the
Yeah,
bright side.
that's the display being bright, and if we turn that down, let me go back to the home screen here. So now it's lost 1% of the charge at this point,
Yeah, because it
and
goes
I
up
can
and down.
yeah, I can see that it's yeah, you guys, unfortunately, I really believe that this USB port, the USB port has been damaged in some way. And you're not alone in this, it happens.
A lot of people.
Let me see. Yeah. And also, how old is this device?
Just
1 year.
About a year.
yeah, I just got it last year,
Okay.
like June or July last
Okay.
year.
What is this device called?
It's a DL. It's a Tab A. It's a DCL.
DCL.
Tab A, and it's from
It should
Samsung.
have it on the back, I think.
in the
Does it
back of the
say on
tablet.
here?
Yeah.
TCL.
As a Verizon. It's a Tab A.
Okay. Oops. And you say a CAD? CAD?
Tab A.
Tab A.
Yeah.
Service center near me. TCL tab, service center near me. I'm going to go ahead and try that. This is going to be something that if you're going to get it fixed, it's going to have to be shipped. I can see that.
Then there's a chance of it getting damaged.
In the process.
It's
Yeah.
getting shipped.
What kind of money are we talking about to replace this thing?
It was only like maybe $50-$60.
Okay.
It's probably going to be way more than that just to get
Yeah,
it fixed.
even the time that I've spent, trying to help you guys with this thing. I mean, if I charge you for it, it would cost you as much as replacing this.
Okay.
So I hate to tell you that, but that might be your only option at this point. I just am not seeing it. It seems like if I hold this at just the right angle,
It'll
it
continue.
looks like it goes, and I'm putting pressure on it.
Is there a thing where like we could prop it up? to.
You might, yeah, you might have to take your cable. I'll let go of it
Or
again.
like some cardboard, some thick cardboard, just to kind of lift it, just
Yeah.
enough for it to charge.
You might be stuck doing that for a bit there, buddy.
I was trying to help my son, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the third place.
Yep. Now the other thing you could do is for $50 we could get a guitar, and you could, rather than use this, you could just play guitar all the time. You'd be a badass in no time flat.
I could see it too.
So, yeah, man, I don't think there's much I can do for you.
I appreciate your time helping him.
Especially not repairing it. I just can't. That's not something I would be able to do. Let's get this plugged back in. Put some power to this. And my audience on YouTube, I think, is agreeing. So everybody wants you to play guitar. There's a bunch of guitar players, I know. So I'm sorry to have that kind of news, you guys.
I understand.
I don't know of anybody else around that might be able to. I mean, everybody that I would refer you to, I've used, and I'm just not real confident with the help that I've gotten. And given we live where we live,
Exactly.
you know,
Well, is there any like out of LeGrand?
any
Any places out of LeGrand?
Verizon,
And that's where we
Right.
came from before Selfix.
right? And that would require, if you're going to have it repaired, you'd have to ship it to them. The shipping's going to cost you as much as a new one of those, if it's 40 to 50
If not
bucks.
more.
So, you know, your other option is to get busy mowing lawns. You know, I don't know how to help you make some. How old are you? Wait, let me guess.
11.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 13. Okay. So, you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think that you've broken that thing. And unfortunately, some devices
It'll
in
have
today's.
to cost a lot of money to repair it.
Yeah, it costs you more to repair that than it would to just buy a new one. And that's the unfortunate thing in today's world, is that we have built-in failure into products like this. You know, don't quote me on that. That's my thought.
Quote you. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to
Appreciate
get in
it.
any trouble, but I think you might be needing to replace that.
Okay.
Or, you know, if you can find a way to hold on to it, you know, while it's charging, or prop it up against something where you can make sure that that charge is working, that's my advice, buddy. Okay. Hey, what's your name?
Terrence.
Terrence? I'm Marshall.
Okay.
Very nice to meet you, man. Okay, back to the old Keith Urban. All right, yeah, this is kind of tripping me out here. That one pin. There we go. I think it's fixed. Man, it feels great now. Keith Urban is cleaned up and fixed up, and with everything I know that's wrong with this instrument, I think I'm ready to send her home. Oh, conspiracy, yeah, it happens. People don't let their children speak for themselves, so I think often enough. And that young man, mom wanted to answer all the questions I had. I was asking directly at her, and I don't know what that's all about. That's an interesting scenario. He seemed like a really confident young man. I think he was kind of tripping on me talking to him directly. It's amazing how protected children are these days. It's sad, actually. There we go. And the Keith Urban. Keith Urban is ready to go home today. I think I'm going to send this thing home and feel really good about it. Again, the real issue with this guitar is the neck angle is going uphill instead of downhill. And you guys have no idea whose presence is right over your shoulder. It's like one of the greatest electronics masters in our world. And I'm not gonna show you his face. He's a very private person. Oh God, Preston, here, you can have a drink of mine. You might, there you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he couldn't even go in the house, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's interesting in today's world. I can't even teach, by don't allow minors into my home to teach them how to play guitar. One word in my life career is over. And that's what the world's come to. But interesting. Yeah, so this whole thing is all finished and fixed up and ready to go. And just so you guys have an accurate idea of what I've done to this thing, where is my... There's my string measuring gauge. So now the string action at the 12th fret on the low E string is 5/64. Let me point you in the right direction here so you can see how I'm doing this. So again, on the low E, we're at 5.5/64. It's a little bit higher than I prefer, but 5.5. And then on this side, we're right at 5/64. So this is more in the neighborhood of, say, a Martin from the factory. They tend to set their strings up a little bit high. They generally go about 6/64 down to about 5/64 on the treble strings. I prefer the string action on an acoustic lower than that, but on a Martin, you can certainly, after you buy it brand new, take it to a tech and have the string action set up correctly. So this bad boy is ready to go home, and I'm going to call this gentleman and let him know his guitar's ready. I'm going to give it a few minutes, so I'm going to let it hang back here. So now we'll move on to another guitar. Then we're going to move to a one of these. Yeah. This young lady brought this instrument into me yesterday with a broken string. And gonna remove the strap from this thing so I can actually work on it without all this intrusive strings and such in my way. Yep. Just back in the case. On a classical open headstock, this is one of the most, I don't know, I am not a fan of the open headstock. They sound great, but putting strings on one of these, not a fan. And this has got the knots tied in the end of it, so I'm going to use the same type of string on that. This is just the open headstocks. This is a very old and yeah, somebody got kind of creative on getting these strings on here. They tied them in a knot here. We'll undo that. Hopefully, yeah. So this isn't too bad. I don't do it like this, but I'm hoping you might be able to see. Let me get you down in here and see what someone did to get the strings nice and tied on here. They tied a little knot right there. I don't know how well that's going to focus. It's not an iPhone. I'm not paying 10 grand for a phone. I'm not paying 500 bucks for a phone. Mine works great. All right. Woohoo! Listen to that. Wow. That was kind of cool. I kind of like how whoever put these strings on here actually did it. It makes perfectly good sense, but also completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Just, you know, with modern technology, you know, you put a normal headstock and normal, what I call normal machine heads on this instrument. You've just made it a whole lot easier to maintain and to put strings on and all that stuff. This is old school design. Completely unnecessary in today's world. There's way better ways to build an instrument than this. Way better. And unfortunately, the young man was putting string or tuning it up yesterday. And, so I'm going to save you guys the agony having to watch me do this. We've been on for about an hour and a half now. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me today and tagging along for my wonderful journey through the Keith Urban signature guitar, right up there with the Estebans, right? Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for being subscribed to my channel and for joining me again today. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream now, and I will see you all very soon. Preston, I'm hoping to drop in tonight, so have fun with your broadcast. Hoping that the Falcro might do his lame hang tonight, and we'll see you all on the next one. Welcome to the bench. Peace, y'all.